We back at you with another banger, Young Elder Gang. We're gonna run that intro for you while we giving them time to get in the building.
Young L on the beat.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It's just coming into the building. All right. We are ancient, mystic order, Melchizedek. I am your 23rd elder, Nanda. On. It's time for us to rise up again, baby. Oh yeah, Sabine, yeah, baby. Free Malachi Z. York. Free Larry Hoover. Free Jeff Ford. Peace back on the land, baby. What up, Skype? Gone. We're back. Crack the head. Trapping down that east, baby. We are the Hebrew Israelites. Big Meat said, hold it down, baby. Shita. Mission the boys back on the land. We are. We just came on to inform you at this time we're running the game. We are cracking heads and twisting caps all around the world right now. And if you're tuned in, we're about to get ready to run another commercial for you. This is a commercial by my brother Lifewave. He just opened up his new herb store online, his new website. We want you to go check him out. Right? So we're going to roll that clip for you real quick.
Rahul Bat, Anuka Hayam, War Greetings. I'm Lifewave, the godfather of medicine, here with the herbal website now open. You click the link in my biography and click on products. Click products so it can show you all the products, not just what's on the front of the page. Get all the remedies that you need. Yes, these are full healing herbal remedies with the best of power. It's even scrolls on there. Spread this message. Do your very best with your health. And yes, directions do come with your products, okay? You will receive these products. Yes, I shook. Be healthy, stay strong. Wadu.
All right. We're going to have that linked in the descriptions and in the comments, right? After the show. So you want to go check my brother Lifewave out. He got some good deals on over there, and he's pretty quick about sending you your product. Yeah, so right now, man, this is right here, like I say, this is tracing your family history, right? Off the Dame Calloway book, off the Dame Calloway flip, right? Off the Dame Calloway flip. So we got that book, right? And we're gonna be going over in this series of tapes. We've Big Mama has instructed us to teach the different tribes that were on the land, and then where you can make your connections and tie it back in, tie your family line back in. Um, so we're gonna be doing that, man. So we're gonna be having the last names. We're gonna be showing facial features, locations of what people at. We're gonna be using the outline of Dame Calloway's book. Shout out Dame Calloway, like I said. Shout out Dame Calloway, man. hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. So let's get that screen shared and get right down off into it. We for the crackheads and Twitch caps. Who else is doing it? While they trying to discredit Malachi, we over here teaching you the truth. While they still gonna be kind of discredit Malachi, the agents, right? But we're gonna teach you what Malachi was teaching us, so you can see what's going on here on the land. Let's drop it. All right. So like we showed you the book, right? Named Calloway. Now this is the first edition. He also has another edition, and I'm in the process of getting this one now. Um, he had another edition. So these are the two editions. You can get these off of Amazon. That's where we got them from. All right, let's go back to the beginning of this. Like I say, we are the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. I am your galactical guide, Senator Foon, 23rd Elder, and we here to teach you back what's going on, wake your behind up for the 2023. You see what I'm saying? All right. So in the first chapter of James Calloway book, he tells you to find out what your relatives already know. This is the first step into tracing your ancestral history, right? So you got these older people that's still got their right mind. They may be in their 70s or 60s or even 80s. You could collect this information from these people or what they know about your family and what the origin of your family. Like you want to try to kind of trace back at least 3 to 4 generations. 4 generations is pretty good and solid, right? This right here, lady, look like my cousin Wendy, right, from the Washington. We're gonna break all that down though, right? But you want to trace back 4 last names, 4 generations on your mother. Say, okay, you got your mother. You want to trace back 4 generations on your mother's side. Then you want to trace 4 generations back on your dad's side. But you want to trace their mothers and dads. Make sure you trace their mothers and dads 4 generations back. You're gonna trace 4 generations back, right? On your mom's and your dad's side. You want to collect those last names because that's gonna be important. Find out what they know as far as where your family started out at. Like were they in Mississippi, then moved to Alabama, or were they in Louisiana and moved to California? Were they in Louisiana and moved to Florida? 'Cause you gotta keep in mind we got separated due to the Trail of Tears, and we was fighting wars, and some of us were prisoners of wars, and converted into slaves on paper, but it really wasn't slavery; it was penal. Like the brother Raw Hayes broke that down, right? So the first step is finding out what your ancestors already know. Find out what your elders or in your family already know. And they might tell you, hey, yeah, we Blackfoot. Some of them might go ahead, they might know. Like my granddaddy, he knew on my dad's side, he knew that we were Blackfoot, right? So he knew that we were Creek Muskogee. He used to always tell us, right? But we was little, we just heard him, and and then we looked at my auntie, his sisters, and all them. We saw they looked like Indians, but we just thought they were mixed with Indians. But we ain't know that we are the real Indians. We are, and some people don't like the word Indian, right? But like I say, uh, the word Indian go back to indigo, and also as well the Hindus mixed in with us. That's why we became known as the Washita Moors. Right. So we're gonna make those connections too in this tape. We're gonna give you a genetical briefing at the beginning. And a lot of this stuff we already went over in the Native American Heritage Part 1 through 7 and the Native American Heritage Part 1 through 4 and the different genetics on Earth Part 1 through 3. You want to get those series, right? You go to the playlist, Young Elders playlist, go to Who's Who on the Planet, and you can watch those tape series. Or you can go to the Rise of the Moors and watch some of the tape series too. And keep in mind for everybody that's wanting to watch the Raw Hayes tapes, you can go to the playlist, scroll down to Raw Hayes with the Young Elder, and all of me and Raw Hayes tapes is in that one playlist. So you can listen to all the tapes back to back, right? So you want to go check that playlist out. We got the playlist set up. We got the More Black Economic playlist. We got the Galactic Family of Life playlist. So if you want to go and list the Pacific schools and classes, let's go to the playlist. Scroll down. We got the different schools broke down in categories with all the tapes. I think the Galactical file is the biggest file, right? Hold on. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna roll it. So that's what the first thing you do is find out. Now, these are the different tribes, the main tribes, right? They go back before they started creating all these $5 Indians and all these other tribes, right? These made up tribes, right? So, and some of these tribes even could be offsprings of the same tribe, like Muskogee, Chickasaw. Really, that's all the same tribe. Washita, all them really Washita and Chata, right? All them really the same tribes. Okay. But the US government officially recognized 574 Indian tribes, right? So but the truth is, a lot of those tribes, like I say, are made up tribes to steal our history, to steal our nationality. Had to give me a drink of water. Excuse me. Now, so this list, I want you to keep in mind and pause it and take a look at this list because one of these tribes is where your people come from. One of these tribes is one of your people's tribe, right? Most of y'all, uh, that's like mostly real Nubians, coming from the eat most of the East Coast tribes, like some of the West Coast tribes, are mixed with Hoshin, like the Navajo, the Hopi, right? Nez Perez, right? The Crow tribe, they mix with the Arapaho, some of the Apache, right? The what else? Yeah, the Arapaho got the Harapos on that twice. Look like yeah. But some of these tribes are mixed with Hoshin, right? But just get a good look at this list because this is gonna come back up when I show you a map of what these tribes were. Once you get with your relatives and find out the origin of where your family is from, then you'll be able to start connect and start pulling up certain records connected to these certain tribes in the location that your family originated from. You see, right? So that's gonna be very important, which is why we leaving this list up there for quite a while, and you might can like say pause it and take a look at it and just keep in mind. So when we show you a certain area on the map, and you know that your family was in that area, and then I give you a last names and connect it to it. And like I say, some of it, we might be missing a couple people last names, but don't mean that your name don't supposed to be to that list. Yeah, keep in mind I'm only one man, and I did a lot of names on there. I found a lot, traced a lot of names, but like I say, we couldn't get to everybody names. Millions of different last names out there that we had to connect, and that'll take a while. Now, eventually, we'll probably get around to having a lot, pretty substantial amount of them in this new thing, and we hoping that shout out Dame Calloway, like we said, we hoping that this add more perspective to the Dame Calloway book, give it more stuff to add to it, right? To his book, right? So we're dealing with the family tree. We're gonna trace your family tree. Like I said, we're gonna trace your mom from your mom and your dad. Then we're gonna trace his mom and dad. Then they mom and dad. We're gonna trace back 4 generations and find all the last names. Sign all the last names that's connected. And sometime you'll find when you get back, you'll find out, dang. So this one of my ancestors on this side had the same last name as the ancestors on this side. So it's like they could have been cousins or something. Yeah. So you start tracing back 4 generations. You want at least 3 to get a clear view on it, but the 4 will be real good. 4 generations will be real good if you trace that back. So all your mom, you want to ask your mom, your dad, ask your grandma if they still living, your grandparents, they great parents, if they still living, if they can give you some information, you want to take notes of this. because you could pass once you do the research, you can pass. You're gonna be able to pass this down to your kids, and your kids ain't gonna have to do all the work you did, and they can pass it down to their kids. And these people, you could keep the memory of who your people are, and you can bring restoring back this information. Um, a lot of races do this, but Nubians, we been cut off specifically because they wanted to hide the fact that we was already all over the planet, right? Like say, shout out Dame Calloway for the book, right? I called Dame Calloway Chief Sugar Bear. Now I don't know if that's his real call name. Maybe somebody can drop his real call name in the chat if they know it, or like I say, if he don't got no call name, I think we should call him Chief Sugar Bear. Chief Sugar Bear, because he doing a lot of work on the land, and he definitely one of the chiefs on the land. Shout out Dame Calloway and his family, man, for putting in that work, right? He's the brother Dame Calloway. He got dreadlocks now, right? But this brother look just like an Armac. You can look at him. He look just like an Armac. This is Big Chief. This is Big Chief Tomcat. Shout out Big Chief Tomcat, man. If he watching, man. Big Chief Tomcat. We like that. That boy must be one of a Chatai. He look like a Chat, one of my Chatais. One of my Williams, one of them. All right, so we're just going over a quick synopsis. Let's say Brother Dan Calloway been already doing the research on his channel. He got over like 500,000 subscribers. I want to. He might have been on with. You could tell that him and Cube from the same tribe. Max tracing. Well, they showed you the books already. All right, this is what we're gonna get into it. I got to give you a quick synopsis of some of the genetics on the planet. So when you start chasing your genetics, you can say, "Oh well, I think I got a little sands because of the hair texture, right?" All right. So you got the original people of the planet. It was four original species after all the Anunnaki stuff went down, right? So you got the Sands Man. They one of the oldest on the planet. Well, here go the four pictures right here, right? So you got the Sands Man, the Twa Man, the Hindu, and the Watusi. These are the four original species of Earth, as far as humanoid go. Like it was reptilians here before dinosaurs. We could get into all that. I'm talking about as a point far as the humans go. Now keep in mind the genetics of the Twa. They average height is like about around 4'5". No more than 4'8". These guys. So they're saying that the female genetics is coming from this tribe because a lot of women average that short height like the Twa. Then you got these people don't have white man in them, what they call them white albino, right? They do got albino in them as a gene, but they not albinos, right? The albinos can come out of these people, right? But these Sands man is light skinned. You see, he ain't as dark as the Watusi or the Twa man or the dark skinned Hindus. He more lighter. So a lot of you light skinned cats don't even got what they call so called white in you. You got Sands man, right? And keep in mind the hair texture of the Sands man is more of a woolly nappy non-ether type hair style, and also the Twa man the same. But then you get down to the Hindu and the Watusi. The Watusi got more of a woolly texture hair, and then the Hindus got like straight hair, right? Stringy looking hair. All right, that's the Twa. You know about the Twa man. All right, the Watusi. They the taller bunch. They actually were extraterrestrials who came down from Nubaru from Orion, right? These are Watusi. So they actually came here and landed. So these are different hairstyles that these Watusis be wearing because they type of hair texture they got. It's more of a woolly type texture. It's not the same as the Sands man, right? Here's some more pictures. All right, they saying from like we migrated out from this way, came like the Sandsman, Bantu, Twa man, they started to migrate from this way. But come to find out, prior to you see right here, they got the years of the migration. So they're saying it was about 130,000 years ago, people began to migrate from here 40,000, 100,000, you know what I'm saying, all the way over here, 13,000. But this map is not true. This is I'm coming to find out that this is not true because I'm gonna tell you now it's true, it's true, but it's not true. Okay, all right, let me tell you. All right, so we did travel back and forth like this, right? Back and forth in the like doing thousands for the hundreds of thousands of years. But what they ain't telling you is it was already over here too, right? Because of the Earth before the separation of the continents, right? We were already walking across here all over the land. Nubians, Africans, natives, dark skinned people were all over the planet already. Why? When the continents were together, and then they began to separate. Right here's another map of the continental drift. Right now, so we was all over this plant, all over these continents because they were one continent at first. Right now, when they began to spread and separate, we still was on these land. But what happens is now we just start walking back and forth instead of having to cross over the ocean. We start going back and forth, and some of us still were crossing over the ocean, right? So we were already over here during this time. So we was already over the planet. But they try to throw us off when they say we came from Africa, right? That throw us off right there. All right, so this right here is the Armac head. This is one found in Ethiopia. This is one found in Mexico, same head. But they like to show you these Asian looking Armacs, which is our children. We're about to get into that. But these are the same people, the Bantu people, the Bantu, the new bonds, right? Here go a picture. I think that's John Henry at the top, and that's Fat Boy at the bottom. Right? Shout out Fat Boy and John Henry. These boys Armacs. Look at this. I mean, you can't make this up. Look at this. Fat Boy, John Henry. It's one of the strongest mans to ever live. Right, like I told you the Sands Man and Twa Man got together and created the Bantu. We already broke this down on the Native American Heritage series, part 1 through 7. Right? Hold on, let me check something. Hey, Rob by, if you're coming into the building, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We cracking heads and we twisting caps. All right, let's get back to that. Let's get back to that. Okay. We gotta break all this down, even though we already broke all this down in the previous classes. We just gotta give you a quick so you see some of these. So when you see some of these features in your family, some people that look similar to this, you can say, "Oh, you got more sands, man," or "You got this," so you can start making the connections, right? All right. So the Chinese, or the people they calling Chinese, the people that were Chinese are the sands man. Ho Shin was a dark skinned, they were sands people. The Bantu people, right? The Bantu people. Alright, now if you take the Bantu and mix them back in with the Twa, right? Now you get the Dogon people, right? The Dogon people. Alright, let's do this. Alright, now this picture right here was taken in America. This is in America. These are the natives in America. This is what some of them look like. Some of the Bantu people that was already over here in America. Thousands of years in America. This is in America, not in Africa. These are Bantu brothers. The Almacs, the real Almacs. I also keep in mind the Nako mixed in with back in with the Somalian. The Somalian is mixed with Hindu and Nubians, and they mix back in with the Danako, the big head joints, the big head dudes, Nubian dudes who came here on risk, who live in the center of the earth in advanced cave systems. Their leader name is Philcore. This is one of his brothers, right? They mixed in with these Somalians and created the bigger head beings called the Afar, right? Also, the first Chinese Shin dynasty is a mix between the Sandsman and the Hindus, right? So the Chinese, that you calling Chinese, they really are Sandsman and Hindu mix. The straight hair part come from the Hindus and the worship of the Nagas or the reptilians and the dragon and the Chinese culture come from the Hindus. And then the chink look or the Asian look, what you calling the Asian look or the Down syndrome or the 47 chroma, they come in later, but they mostly get a lot of the features, Asian features from the first agents, the Sands people, who was in age of thousands of years before, right? Then you got the dark skinned Hindus. And keep in mind, these Hindus are dark skinned with straight hair. This is your Asiatic black man right here. This is your Asiatic black man, right? All right, let's show you some more pictures of what they look like. They dark skinned, they look like us, but they ain't us. These Hindus, they dark skin, straight hair. See, look at this. Dark skin. And you got some with people over here that look just like these people, but they Hindu. These people live in South India. They speak Jasgrati, Telugu. They speak Tamil. They speak Hindi, right? That's like the national language, Hindi, right? So this is what they look like. They dark skinned, straight haired people, the Hindus, right? And like I say, it's probably like about at least 50, 60 languages, maybe more than that over just in India. That's how the language is definitely it makes the culture, it diverse the culture more. Okay, here goes some more Hindus. They dark skin, they black, just like us, but they got straight hair. And these are the people who came over. Uh these Moors, these Muur people are ones of Chaldea who came in and mixed in with all of us, all around the planet. Yeah, the new bonds are a mix between because these Anunnakis were coming down, seeing these Bantu women and making babies with them, and created the Zulu, the Zulu people, the Zulu people, right? Close my door. Created the Zulu people. Hold on, y'all. The Zulu people, right? Hold on, somebody tried to walk in my door, man. Hey, the Zulu people, right? So you can see they more darker, and they might have bit more of a larger body structure due to the Anunnakis who were taller, right? Here go the pictures of the fall. And you got like 2, 3 different types of a fall. You got the fuzzy wuzzy type. You can see that when you a lot of this tribe was over here too, and they were called the mirror tribe to these people were called the Shoshone people. And this when remember y'all came out with the math froze in the 70s and y'all was rocking them froze and stuff. Well, this is all connected to that with these same people. Here go Dame showing that his face line right out with the Armac. This right here is Chief Warhorse who Raw Hayes was talking about, right? We're gonna be introducing you to her. We got tapes coming out with her. Right, keep in mind the Armax, this helmet really was a football helmet. Look at the hole right here. Look at the hole right here. Look at the front of the helmet, how I got the front piece right here. And these helmets were out front of these stadiums. Why? And just like this statue right here where they got him with the helmet on with the shoulder pads. They would dig this up, show you the shoulder pads on this joint. You can see that they were football helmets. Right? So who are the Armax? We already know the Armax were the band two, the new bonds. They had large lips, large heads, larger features. That's why in football, Nubians dominate because it's our sport for millions of years before Christopher Columbus even sailed. So, like we said, one thing you can look at to trace your genetics is the texture of your hair. You got a 6, 7, 8, and a 9. Like I said, the 9 is going all the way back. There's a stronger genetics. The 6 is coming like that through the Hindu trait in the frugaloids, right? So a lot of y'all, even so-called white people, you might not even have a 6. You might have a curly texture. That means you a mulatto, right? So the hair is a dead giveaway. Keep in mind the native. It's a difference between Native Americans and American Indians. The American Indians have hollow hair. The Native Americans got curly, kinky hair, right? Here's what their hair look like. This is curly, kinky hair. This is curly, kinky hair, right? This is the plaits that these people was the braids they were putting on their head, right? The car, right? So that's all connected. The hair texture is the connection. I will just show you some more Armac heads, Armac pictures, right? They go, here go, George Floyd. Look at George Floyd. The big nose, big lips. That's him right there all day long, right? They go another one. Just want to show you that these right here was found over here in America. So these people were already over here in America. We just want to prove that point before we get into the different tribes and who's the last names, right? So it's a more Armac here. We can look at that. I know a brother that look just like him. Right? We know brothers that look just like him. And then keep in mind also the Armacs was in contact directly with the Anunnakis, so they had advanced technology. That's why they was building the pyramids. They were doing all kind of stuff. But when the extraterrestrials that taught them how to build the pyramids were the 200 fallen people, 200 fallen in the Anunnakis, right? There's another head found on the ground right here. They dug in these heads all up over in America. All right. Here's another what the people look like. Notice he got a fez on. Because the feathers and the fezzes were both ours. But over here we mostly wore feathers. Over there they wore fezzes. Over here we wore feathers. All right, here's another picture. This right here, the dude Roy Lee, in Mo 3 homeboy. Look at him. You people see what they don't want. Another thing they don't want to tell you is that you people reincarnate. Some of you in your past lives were kings. Some of you in your past lives were priests. Some of you in your past lives were doing the exact same thing you doing now in life. You could have been an entertainer in your last life during the ancient time, and you still entertaining right now. You could have been some type of builder, a mechanic, or whatever you doing now, driver, whatever you do now. You could have been doing. It's a close time you've been doing that in all your past lives. So it's like part of your genetics, right? So and some of y'all come back looking the genetics because you got to keep in mind we descendants of all these people, right? So those people are in your genetics. So every generation, somebody gonna come out looking like somebody. And we on this side of the land, we had people on the land that could tell people when they came out, oh, that's such and such, he back. Right. We had these oracles or these priests or these priestess that can see the baby and watch the baby and see how they act and say, "Oh yeah, that's such and such come back," because the mitochondrial DNA still produce the same. It's still copying itself and reproducing clones. A lot of y'all, this is like your third, even up to ninth clone of you in your genetics. But if you don't have if you wanna keep coming back here, you have kids. But if you don't have no kids, you cut your bloodline off. You cut your bloodline off by not having kids, right? Because how you gonna come back through that genetics if you cut it off by not having kids, or if you cut it off by becoming, uh, you know, liking another man or liking another woman and don't produce a child that pass your genetics on. It's about passing the genetics so you can keep coming back. But they trying to stop that. It's a group of artificial intelligence extraterrestrials who trying to stop that. Right, here's another fall picture. You see the Willows Peak because that's coming. That Willows Peak coming in because that's coming in from the Hindu, from the Hala side. See that? From the Knuckle, the Willows Peak and the receding hairlines coming from the Knuckle trait. The big head people from the center of the earth, right? You go to Ormac, some more Ormac helmets. We just like I say, we got a whole class on this called the Native American Heritage Part One, the Ormacs. We break all this down. So you want to go check that tape out, right? So then the Watusis, right? They mix with the Bantu, right? And they create the Dinka. Watusis, they were tall, and they mixed with these Bantu people, created the Dinka, these Nubians, right? We already broke all this down. Sans people, right? Mixed with the Hindus, created the and then these Terus, these were these cone head beings, right? Who came from a planet called Jama, right? In the Arcturian star system, right? And they migrated to Earth after their planet got destroyed. But they also but before then, before they was on Jama in the Arcturian star system, they came here from Andromeda's galaxy, right? And they end up getting on the mission Blue Rock, Project Blue Rock, with the as helpers for the Denakal. And the original ones were dark skinned. Now, when they got here, they began mixing, and their skin color began to change when they came to on a different type of planet, and due to mixing what they see with uh these frugaloids and these derus, right? But the old Hoshin dynasty, they were dark skinned Chinese, not light skinned Chinese. Keep that in mind, right? These people, these dark skinned Chinese mixed in with these dark skinned Terus, uh, and some of them was like lighter color, right? They were like due to the mixing with the frugaloids, they were lighter colors, right? And so they mixed in with these Shins people or these Sands people, right? And started to create these that people that had Down syndrome with with the extra chromosome, 47 chromosome, right? Here's what they look like, right? And they became a group of these beings became known as the Huns. These Huns became your now some of them are going as your $5 Indians, right? Raw Hayes already broke that down. That's some good water right there. I got me a new cup that keep your water at a room temperature. That joint fire. All right, so yeah, we gonna break this down. We got about 25 minutes. We'll try to cover this most of this in the first part, right? All right, so these Huns, right? So they really a lot of them were really with dark skin, right? And some of these were captured as prisoners of war and brought to work on the railroads. We're gonna break that down too. But for the most part, they were dark skinned. This is what they look like. They were dark skinned beings. They mixed later with the Frugaloids and the Canaanites and became lighter. But the first batch of them during the dynasty of Hoshin, really all the way up until like the 1700s, they were dark skinned people in Asia till they started mixing in. Now, keep in mind, if you notice, there's children that are born with Down syndrome, and they not Asian in origin. They can be from any race, and they come out looking Asian because of the Down syndrome, right? I show you a couple of pictures of those kids, so you can see the difference. It's a difference between certain Chinese. Some Chinese don't got the 47 Down syndrome chromosome. They got the mongoloid or the other genetics, the features or the aging features from the Sans people, right? But the 47 chromosome creating the Down syndrome. Hey, free Malachi Z. York, because this is the information that we got from the master teacher, the information that we teaching you right now, the information that a certain killer doll is trying to stop you from knowing this, which is why he's trying to discredit the master teacher, right? But we gonna crack heads and twist cats, and then we got the let's set the record straight book too, right? All right. So look, check this out. And we ain't gonna even say his name no more, right? Because he think he a high powered alchemist, but he really his alchemy really weak, bro. So we ain't gonna even say his name no more, right? The killer dog. Uh yeah. But you see, she got Down syndrome right here, right? So she look aging, but she not really aging. Okay. Like I said, I think I just showed her picture. She look aging, but she not really aging. It's just for the Down syndrome. He's a Nubian brother with the Down syndrome. He looked kind of like Asian looking. You see? Here's a Caucasian. He may be an albino because he got yeah, but he could be a Caucasian. But he's got Down syndrome and gives him the chink, the flat nose. You know what I'm saying? This genetics. Like I say, this genetics come from the Terus mixing in the coneheads who sleep upright, who eat 3 or 4 times, 7 more times food than you consume. So what they eating down there? What they eating down there is what you're gonna ask. They consuming all this food. All right, so this is another picture of the Hoshin and some of the Huns. You tell how big they got the bigger head due to the chrome head mix. But you can see this one right here look like this one right here look like a Nubian right here. It's some people over here like this right here person right here look this right here person look just like my sister-in-law. She looked just like this, like she got Asian in her. My sister-in-law. So these are the people that were dark. They were already dark skinned. They were black people. Uh, like I say, we don't like the word black, but I'm saying they were dark skinned people. The people that came when Ho Shin came over here wasn't light skinned natives. They were dark skinned natives. But to prove that point, right? So they like to show you these people, and yeah, these are our people. These are the make what they call Mexicans or what they calling they really Aztecs, the Aztecs, not Olmecs. The Olmecs go back older than these people. These people got Asian in them. They do. They come from the Ho Shin mix, and he got Spaniard or Cuban in him. He got Spaniard in him from. These people got Spaniard in them. The Olmecs was there before the Spaniards came. All right, if you look on this picture, you see how dark these beans are. Now you can see some of them got Asian features. Now if the Asians were light skinned when they came over and mixed in with these people, then why are these people still they got blacker? I tell you why, because when you mix black with black, you get black. When you mix black with black, you get black. You know what I'm saying? And once you go back black, you never go back. You never go back. Right? So they got blacker. Look at this dude on the front. He look like somebody you can know right now. Look at this dude right here. He look like a brother. These are all brothers, in fact. But you can tell the texture of the hair that it's a mix. All right. So if you look at this brother, he's the Armac and Hindu mix. You can tell. And then if you take the whole Shin and mix him in with this, with the Chinese, I mean the whole Shin and mix him in with this, you get these guys. These are the children of these guys who are the Washita. The Washita is a combination between the Hindus and the Armaks, the tribe of Shabazz. That's why we call ourselves Washita Moors. Right? If you look at this, these are the Asian girls, some of the Native Americans in the Hopi, and you can see that they got Asian in them. They got Asian in them, man. So you people, I used to get into it, or not get into it with them when I was living in this Albuquerque, the Navajos there, the Hopis there, and the Pablo, a couple more other small tribes. But I used to tell these people, "Hey, you not you Navajo, but you are a mixed tribe. You're not the originals people. You are mixed with Asian, and you can look." And then they they were so stunned when I told them that because they looking in the mirror, looking at their Asian features. Right? You're not original native. You are American Indians. We are Native Americans. See, it's a difference between Native Americans and American Indians, right? All right, so this is the Dakota tribe. This is a trained tribe, but they mix. You could tell. But look at the this right here look just like mine in them. But look at these people, man. You can tell they got aging in them. But look at how dark they is. And look how dark these two daughters is. The little girls. They look at the little girls. Look at the little girls. Right? Look at this lady right here. These people are dark skinned people. Dark skin. They got Chinese in them though. I saw a dude with the Navajo tribe that looked just like this dude. Right? His name was Miho. I think that's what we call him. Miho. He used to work at Walmart with me in Albuquerque. But I told him now he looked this dude. The dude. It was him that was working there, and another lady. The other lady, she looked way more Filipino Asian. But Miho, he looked like this dude. Like he looked more like connected to us. We even resembled each other with the long nose because the long nose come from us. He got the long nose from us, right? You can look at this dude. He kind of look like my people, like the Washingtons. All right, look at these people right here. Look how dark they is, right? They don't show you these Indians in the movie or these Native Americans or these American Indians in the movie. They still find the whitest people they can find to play us. They still find the whitest people they can find, right? Get about right. So look at these people. You can see the age of features though, right? You can see the age of features. All right, look at this. Look how dark these children are because you got to keep in mind we allowed the whole Shin to come in and mix in with us because they sailed over here. They brought the dragon worship with the Hindu culture over here. We sent them down south to Central America where they then incorporated that dragon worship down there. That's why you got the dragons on the pyramids down there, right? They brought that from. That's why in China they parade around the city with a dragon. Right? Yeah, Chiefs back on the land, man. We cracking heads and we twisting caps. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, right? Hit that bell if you're new to the channel, right? Anybody that ain't out to teach you who you are and lift you up is an agent. If they out, if they out to defame another man instead of teach you the truth about your history and who you are and what's happening, then they ain't working with us. They working against us, right? And anybody that work with them is an agent. You see, we got to start pointing these people out, right? The Dogongs came from Mali, right, to a maximum about 1600 BC, and they became they mixed when the Dogongs was over here. Hoshin came and mixed in with the Dogongs. Came over to America and created the Hopi. If you study the Hopi's tribe and all their artifacts, and you study the Dogong artifacts, you can see the correlation between the two tribes. The Dogongs and the Hopi really is the same tribe. They the mirror tribe. These people over here just were the children of these Dogon who came over here, and they were mixed with Hoshin Chinese, right? Just study the. We already broke this down actually on the Native American Heritage Part 4, the melting pot. We already broke that down already on that tape, right? But if you study the coordination between the dolls, the handcrafting, the quilt making, even the clothing, even the build style of building that they did, the style of buildings that the Hopi made down in the Grand Canyon. Keep in mind that, and they were finding why they finding ancient Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon, right? Because the Dogongs is the ancient Egyptians. The Dogongs is one of the ancient Egyptians. Like I said, we don't like the word Egypt because it really means burnt face, right? Means the ones who came in who had the burnt face. But like for sake of conversation, like Baba said in the let's set the record straight, the people who we call in the Dogongs are really the ancient Egyptians, and they were building temples inside of the Grand Canyon, which is why certain parts of the Grand Canyon is blocked off and locked out where you can't get down there. And Smithsonian Institute is in on it because they got ancient Egyptian artifacts and Dogon artifacts from down off in there, and they don't want to show you that this whole cities down in the Grand Canyon built by these Dogon people who became known as the Hopi once they mixed with Hushin, who sailed over here. All right, here's some more pictures of these people. Look how dark they is. I mean, you can't make this up. Look at her right here. It's like my cousin them, right? It's like my sister-in-law right there. I'm telling you. Like my cousin them right here in the middle. So these people are the children of these people right here. I'm telling you, man. Look at this. So we allowed these people. So check this out. All right. This is what's happening. All right, you see her on this side, she the Washita, one of the original Washita. Now she married one of Hoshin's, like say Hoshin mixed with a Washita, had a son, right? And then that son married her back into the family, and they had a kid. So some of these children that look Asian, that's saying that they American Indians, they really are our children. The ones that's going to serve them in Atlanta. This is them right here, the little baby. This is the kids, our children, who are going to serve them now. And they know these people, our children, they know who we are. They know the that they are our children. The ones that's really they're really our children. Now some that's $5 Indians, they ain't gonna say that because they ain't really our children. But the ones that's our children, they know that about the prophecy of the return of the Black Hawk and the return of the black ape and the return of the black eagle and the return of the black cow, right? And the black bear. They know the prophecies, right? Okay. So keep in mind about the Indian training school. Rod Hayes told you about the Indian training school. And they brought these big guys over here and started training them on how to be Native Americans. And they also had these guys working on the railroads. They was bringing out importing a lot of them over here, but the whole plot was once they got through stealing, they were gonna steal the land. The railroads was they putting these railroads through our land. Keep in mind, this is our land. And they putting railroads through our land. They was even robbing Indians, killing Indians, burning their house down, Native Americans, right? Burning their house down, making them move out, like harassing them in the middle of the night to where they'll leave their land if they didn't want to sell. Either you sold, got down, or lay down. That's how these people got down, man. When they came on our land, either you got down or lay down. You get down and lay down, right? So they want to run a train track through your back of your yard. If you don't let them, they start harassing you, harassing your cattle, pausing your farmland until you just gave up, and then they run the train through your neighborhood, right? That's how they get down, man. Right? So look at these brothers. Look, that's like an Asian, that's a Native American. These Native Americans. These are all Native Americans. These ain't no slaves. See that slavery game. See, me and Rod already put a tape out about it called "How the Slave Trade Was Fake." There's only about 10% or less of you over here that were brought. Some of your family members was brought over here on the ship. The rest of us was already 90% of us was already over here, and we tired and we sick and tired of the games. No more lies, no more games. You can't lie to us anymore. We know now. We know we was here. We know we natives. We was here. And they did such a good job at lying that even some of the our children that are these mixed $5 looking Indians, they think that they the original Indians. Some of them really think that they the original Indians and that all of us were brought over here. They've been brainwashed too. They been they got their brain dirty. They didn't get the brain washed. They brain been dirty too. So we got to brainwash everybody. We got to wash all these people brain to get them back to the truth, right? We got to wash all these brains. See, these are the agents they brought over to create the $5 Indian school and start training these people. And some of these people wasn't even our kids, children. They were just agents who were brought over. Some of them was the Huns who they were capturing during the wars. who had the larger head, right? Here you go, right here. The Chinese and the Iron Road. The Iron Road is the railroads. They brought them over here for the railroads system, right? This is what's happening, man. I'm telling you. We just warming up. We got to show you all this so we can build up to when we go into the different things, so you can see what's happening. So some of y'all might got aging in you. Some of y'all got most of us got Hindu, the tribe of Shabazz in us. So we the tribe of Shabazz. I remember Rod pointed out on the tape called "Word to My Mother." He pointed out that, hey, that these people were set up Indian training schools so where they could be trained to be us. And it's not these were not children. These were the children of the people who they brought over to work the railroads as prisoners of war from as part of the penal system from the Huns that they captured in the war. Like, so his more pictures, his and Rod showed these pictures in that tape, right? Shout out my brother Skype 8, right? Showed you that these look at the faces on these people. They ain't us, not even our children, right? Look how these people look. They training these people at Indian school. And if you look it up, they gonna tell you a lie about they were trying to steal these people culture. Yeah, they were trying to steal some people culture. Yeah, our culture. Not stealing these people didn't they culture was Asian. When they came over here, they tried to steal our culture, right? This is the game. Look at this. Let's get them blowed up where you can see them. These look like Vietnamese people. They dang sure ain't no natives. Nubians was on the planet, all over the planet. Ain't no debating. Ain't no argument about it. Nubians was all over the planet for anybody. Ain't no argument. Hands down. Ain't no debating it. We ain't buying nothing other than that. Right? And that's the true facts. You know it. So go and tell the truth and shame the devil. They doing a whole Indian training school. Look how many people out there. They go all the way back up to there to learn how to be us. 30,000 natives children were placed into boarding school to learn between 1880 and 1902 they were trying to steal our culture. And but Rod said that that it was us teaching them to preserve our native culture. So, you got different perspectives on it. It just looked fishy to me. You know what I'm saying? It looked funny. Yeah, you gotta put some niggas in the school. Yeah, it just looked funny, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, we can't forget about the Washita land. This Louisiana Purchase really is Washita land. So when the Hindus came in right here, they began mixing in with all these people. So they and created a whole nother tribe called the Washita, one of the biggest tribes after the Armax, right? The Washita Nation. You already know about Empress Patrice, right? You already know about Empress Patrice. The Washita Nation, the Washington family. I'm a Washington. I'm a Washita. Right? And the Chata, we Chata, the Chata is a branch out from the Washita. Same tribe, really. Right? We about to get into it. Shout out Chief, one of my chiefs, Chief Warhorse. Shout out Chief Bald Eagle. Right? Shout out Chief Brown Bear. Right? Shout out the Mound Builder, Mother the Mound Builder. Right? So she was the one that passed it to Empress Patrice. We're gonna get into the more. Actually, we already broke all this down on the Return of the Ancient One tape. This is a book put out about the Empress Patrice put out, right? The Mound Builder Empire, right? So that was the lady's name that was the Empress before Empress Patrice that passed it down to her. But this is Empress Patrice's book. And like I said, we're gonna have this book in the links too. You can read it for free. We also already got it, like I say, a whole tapes out called "The Return of the Ancient One," Part 1 through 3, where we break down some of the stuff in this book and the connection. You want to go check that out? We actually got some Native American tapes out already called from native to colored people, right? From part one through part four, where we already break down a lot of the last names and the connections to try you back. But I guess we got to we're gonna have we re-editing that and we redoing it. It's already out. You can go watch it right on the Who's Who playlist and in the Rise of the Moors playlist. So we done broke all this. A lot of this stuff we saying we already broke down, right? But we get into the last name part. This is tracing your ancestral history, right? Right. So this is it. This is Empress Patrice. If you don't know who Empress Patrice is, you need to look Empress Patrice up. Right. This is somebody you need to know about as we transition back to our rightful place on the land. This is one of the sisters, look just like my grandma. I'm gonna show y'all that, right? Show y'all that I'm kin to Empress Patrice more than one way. I'm kin to her on my dad's side, my dad and them, and my mom and them side. Right? I'm kin to my mom on my dad's side and my mom and them side. We're gonna show y'all that. Keep in mind about the Louisiana Purchase, right? The Louisiana Purchase. Keep in mind about Thomas Jefferson. Keep in mind about Napoleon. Keep in mind about Napoleon. All right, all right. Keep in mind about we had a slight malfunction there. Keep in mind about Napoleon, right? Keep in mind about Lewis and Clark and Ben York. This stuff gonna come back up, right? And keep in mind about the Washita land. Rod broke this down, some stuff on this too. And keep in mind also that we got a whole tape out called the Louisiana Purchase. You want to scroll down and check out that tape where we break down the Louisiana Purchase and what the game was all really about, right? So you got to keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah. So Louisiana Purchase is gonna come back up. Like I said, we already put a whole tape out on it. This is Empress Patrice. Okay. This is Empress Patrice son. I think his name, I know his name is Washington. You know, because we he can't the Washingtons, right? I think his name is Fred. I think his name is Frederick or Fred or something like that. But somebody can drop his name in the chat. I know it's Washington. And I think his sister name is Wendy. This is Wendy right here, I think. Wendy Washington. I remember her name because she got the same name as my cousin, Wendy Washington, right? But you can look at the Native American features. I mean, you can look at her. That's still native. All right. This is also, I think, Empress Patrice niece, I think. And she a Washington too, right? So keep in mind, I'm a Washington. These my people, man. She look just like my auntie, my Aunt Lisa. She look just like my Aunt Lisa, my mama's sister. I'm telling you, Lisa Washington. All right, so they show you, and keep in mind she got the fez on, and then that's from our Washita tribe, right? The Washita, we had the Washita Moors, we the Washita Moors through the tribe of Shabazz, and they want to wash us out. They want to turn us white and wash us out of history. So they put the say you this what the people look like when the real people look just like her, dark skinned beings. All right, this pin's 2K Bay. This is what we some of our Begalia. Keep in mind, we started the New Orleans. We started the Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras is one of our rituals on the land. Mardi Gras is one of our native rituals on the land. Keep that in mind. Mardi Gras is one of our native things on the land. So this is Mardi Gras, Washita Chata. We started the fillet of fish. We started gumbo. We started see like the good food is down in Louisiana, man. The best food in the world is in Louisiana. Ask anybody that's a food connoisseur, they'll tell you. Down here we seasoning, we got a mix. The Creole mix, we got the mix. You heard me? It's the food, the good food down here is booming down here. Women down here they can cook their butt off down up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all my cookers out there, my kitchen hoppers. Right? So Mardi Gras, that's our thing. It's natives. They don't want to tell you this, man. The feathers up, all that's our stuff. Washita. Washita Native of Moors Republic. See, she got more. Mour. One of Chadea Republic. Moors Republic. With the Washita Moors, Muur. Some people say, "Oh, that Moor word, this and that." Man, we told you the origin of it. It means one of them Chaldea. That's what the real origin of it is. The other one don't come later till the French get a hold of it, and they got to change the meaning of it then, right? So in French, with the Moor, it's still to me it's the same thing when you trace the phonetics back. But like I say, monogram is our thing, and like I say, all this is we finna get into on the next part two. We're gonna get into the more of the tribe, each tribe, and then tribe the last names. We're just building you up to a point to give you a quick history on, like a quick crash course history on who we are and the natives being dark before we just jump into telling you the last names. Even though we already got a lot of tapes already on this. All right, so it's like we say, Abu Bakr came over and sailed over and brought. We'll go on with this on part two. We'll go over this on part two. So we'll stop right there since we had an hour, and we're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be back. So Islam, Shalom Aleichem, Hotep, peace and love. Assalamu alaikum, Ashug, divine love throughout the boundless universe to all. Right? Wadu.